Okay. Hi, I'm Brittany with the Idaho Wheat Commission, and we are here today with Stacy Satterley, Executive Director of the Idaho Grain Producers Association, or as you probably know it, IGPA. So we're going to talk a little bit about what your organization does, why we have two organizations, things like that. So tell us what IGPA is.
Idaho Grain Producers Association is an over 60-year-old organization, and we focus on advocacy. So you all have a role and we have a role, and we are partner organizations, but I don't want to speak for the Wheat Commission, but I like to think of it like this. So the Wheat Commission does certain things, and they're in your statute, right? They're what you guys are meant to do. It's research, it's market development, it's grower education. And those are kind of the three pillars of the Wheat Commission. So what you guys cannot do, though, is lobby or do advocacy work. And that's what IGPA does. So we have relationships at the State House. We work with Idaho state legislators. We work with the governor's office and those constitutional offices. We also work in Washington, D.C. So we've got national affiliates, the National Association of Wheat Growers and National Barley Growers Association. So we've got Idaho growers that serve on those boards and influence policy at the national level that ends up impacting Idaho growers right here.
Okay, and why do we need two organizations?
Well, mostly it's that there is a divide between what the commission can do and what IGPA can do, and that's a pretty important divide. So the commission is funded by assessment dollars, and there are limitations on what those assessments can pay for. And we like to have a really clear and bright line that assessment dollars don't do lobbying or advocacy work or policy work. And that's what IGPA does. So again, our work kind of goes hand in hand. We share some things. We obviously have a lot of the same constituents. A lot of the same growers are pay an assessment into the Wheat Commission and reap the benefits of having a great commission, but they also pay into IGPA, and our members and they have their voice as part of our organization when we're over at the State House or when we're in Washington, D.C. But we do very different things, our organizations.
Okay, so how is IGPA funded?
We are a membership-driven organization. So every year we ask growers to join IGPA, and they pay us a membership fee. So we have grower members. We also have affiliate members that pay and support IGPA through their membership. And then we also have contracts with the Wheat Commission and the Barley Commission to do some of those things that I mentioned that we work on together. And largely that is grower education and grower information. We kind of have that joint mission. And so we have a service contract with the Barley Commission and the Wheat Commission, and we have some funding that way too.
Okay, so you said earlier that there are wheat farmers who pay their check off to the Wheat Commission, which is how we're funded, and then they also pay to IGPA. So just because I pay my check off doesn't mean I'm a member of IGPA?
There's this misconception that if you pay an assessment, you're automatically a member of IGPA, and that's not true. We are a separate entity and a separate organization, and it takes a separate step. Paying that membership, completing your form, and engaging with us to be a member of IGPA. And really, it's those dollars that allow us to lobby. So we've had growers say, well, why can't we just say that if we pay an assessment, we're a member of IGPA? Why can't that just be one and the same? We are the voice of Idaho wheat and barley growers, so why not just have us be a member when we pay our assessment? And the fact is, it's those membership dollars that we lobby with. So we have to have those dollars. We can't lobby with commission dollars. We have to have those membership dollars. And that's why we're a totally separate organization, and we have our own income streams, membership dollars.
And anyone can be a member? You don't have to grow wheat?
I think if we look at our bylaws, largely our membership on the grower side is made up of growers who grow wheat and barley. On the industry side, it's a little bit of a broader umbrella. It's groups that support Idaho agriculture and Idaho wheat and barley farmers. So we'd like to have that tie to grain, and our members are largely wheat and barley farmers throughout the state.
Okay, so why is membership important? What are the benefits if I become a member of IGPA that I wouldn't have otherwise, and why should I care about that?
We really like to say, in all these things, it's so important to have your voice heard as part of these conversations, as part of these policy debates. And what you get with your membership in IGPA is a seat at the table. So we are over at the State House every day. We're engaging with our national affiliates, and your membership in IGPA gets you a voice. It gets you a seat at the table so that when we're talking about transportation issues, tax issues, land use issues, water issues, we are representing you and your needs. We want the ability for Idaho farmers to keep farming, and you get a seat at that table through your membership with IGPA.
Okay, so the session recently ended, the legislature this year. Do you have any wrap up that you want to give us? What were some of the things IGPA worked on? What were some successes? What were your overall takeaways from the session?
So session did just end, and legislators were eager to head home and run for re-election. So that's really where our focus has shifted. But largely this session, our issues were not necessarily wheat and barley specific. They were much more agricultural, affecting and impacting our sector. So when you are a member of IGPA, we work really closely through Food Producers of Idaho with all of the other ag groups in the state. And we all were advocating for infrastructure, transportation funding, and we saw a huge increase that was in the governor's budget. Governor Brad Little and the legislature passed that funding. So that was a really big deal. A lot of bridge work, road work is going to get done in the next few years because of that funding investment. There were huge investments in education, and we care a lot about our University of Idaho Cal's friends and extension and research. So there was funding there that we were supportive of. It was a big session. And as I mentioned, the other thing that we do is we have a political action committee here in the state, the Idaho Wheat and Barley PAC. And we've really turned our focus from the session to the primary election. So the primary here in the state is where a lot of election decisions are made, frankly. The general election's in November, but the primary is May 17th. So we've really been focused on investing our PAC dollars in candidates, both for the state House and Senate, and I point behind me because the State House is right behind us, over for constitutional offices as well, on candidates who are pragmatic and they are problem solvers and they are going to support Idaho agriculture. And that's increasingly critical. We just went through redistricting, and Idaho's changing. And we are losing a lot of the rural districts, the agricultural districts and representation we've traditionally had at the State House. So it's even more important now to have our political action committee and have those relationships with legislators and get good people elected.
All right. So on that note, through redistricting, a lot of people might not be in the same district that they've always been in or that they've been in for the past 10 years. And their polling place may not be the same either, correct? So they don't have to re-register to vote, but definitely double check the state website.
So on this is true. Even for me, I had to go to the state website and put in my address to see which district I'm in, because the lines changed and the new line is like right in front of my house. So I'm in a new district myself. There are websites. We can post the link here, yes, but we're also working on a newsletter to go out that will, we understand it can be a little overwhelming when you go to the ballot box. There's a lot of names and it's hard to sometimes know who the best candidate is. So we've gone through IGPA, our staff, and kind of flagged who we've supported with our PAC and who we think will best represent on Idaho agriculture on the issues that are important to us. in a number of races around the state. So we're going to push that out here in the next week or so. So you can take that time and get to know the folks that are running in your district, but also it will include those websites where, one, you can see what number, which district you're in the new map, and two, where your polling places are. Also where you can request an early ballot if you want to get your voting done and get it taken care of before May 17th.
All right, and yes, we will post, just look below in the comments. We'll have the link to idahovotes.gov, which will tell you exactly where you need to go. And then also idahograin.org, which you can click on that link and become a member of IGPA.
That's right. It's really affordable. You have to do it every year, which we know is a little bit of a pain. And we get some people confused about that too. Like, oh, I'm a member. And you look back and it's like, well, 5 years ago, you were just doing something you have to do every year, but we've tried to make it really easy. You can do it on the website. You can reach out to us here in the office, but it's increasingly important to have a seat at the table and have your voice heard. And that's really what our goal is and what, what we're all about.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time today. And we will see you back here for our next video.